Hello everyone, welcome to another video. Time for another daily AC strategy guide, and we're getting this one out before the event starts, which is nice. Quick look at Kudus Prime here on the screen. Take a look at the settings. It's Autopolis International Racing Course, the full version. Group fee, fuel at ×3, tyre at ×7, and it's the racing hard tyre. And it's got the racing hard tyre at both parts for the mentions tyres, so it looks like there is no tyre requirement for this one like there was in the Super Formula race. Hopefully that is the case, or this video may well have been for nothing. So the first thing we're going to take a look at here, strategy wise, is the non-stop. Before we get delved into that, first thing I want to advise in this one is that Group 3 cars on this track with the racing hard tyres have very little grip. Obviously, particularly at the beginning on cold tyres, the car feels so sluggish around the corners, the handling feels terrible. To the extent that when I first started testing this, I thought there might have been something wrong with my wheel and actually reset it. But it just turns out that the racing hard tyres on this track here, which seems to be a very low grip circuit anyway, really causes some grip issues. So that is definitely something you want to be taking into account when you first jump into a race in this one. That first lap, take it very carefully, brake nice and early. I think you're going to see a lot of people flying off the track at the first corner in this one, not taking into account those very cool tyres and a good bit of slipstream. You can see even there I'm still struggling to get the car into the apexes. We're a good 3/4 of the way through this lap. So the car we are on board with here is the Group 3 Ford GT. I've chosen this car for a couple of reasons. Autopolis is very much a handling circuit. Not very many long straights, just the sort of the pitch straight where any real horsepower is required. So the handling cars definitely come to the fore at this track. So your Porsche, your Ferrari, your Alfa Romeo, Citroen, Ford GT, I expect all these cars to be very strong here. And the other reason I think this Ford GT in particular is going to be a good pick is because there's no fuel limitations on this track. There's no fuel saving required, and the Ford GT is notorious for being pretty poor on fuel. So the more fuel you can burn and the lighter you can make the car as the race goes on, the better. So for that reason, I think the Ford GT could be a very strong race contender. And then throw on top of that the fairly low tyre wear. And this one, because there's no fuel saving required and with the low tyre wear, looks very much like a non-stop race. So that is the strategy we are looking at here. And as we come to the halfway point of the race, completing lap 5, you can see we've just set our fastest lap. And if you look at the tyre wear, the tyres are still in very good shape. So doing a no-stop is going to be no issue whatsoever. And as I said, when I see the settings on Kudus Prime, I immediately thought this is a no-stop race. So there you go, we're still setting purple sectors into lap 6. Now we did this run here on a non-stop with only a couple of laps practice before we got sort of stuck into some race runs. I had done some laps in the Citroen the other day, so I wasn't going in completely blind, but a couple of practice laps in the Ford GT, then straight into a race run. I knew sort of mid 47s were not terrible laps, so I just carried on. This turned out to be quite a representative run in the car. So again, we just skip forward to lap 9 just to keep an eye on that tyre wears. So we've got half a lap left. You can see the tyres down there. No, they're starting to show a little bit of wear. The car's starting to become just a little bit sketchy in the last couple of laps, but the lap time's still holding up. Lap 9 there, our slowest lap. So in fact, it's not our slowest lap. We actually had a fairly poor lap on lap 6, but we're still only lapping about 7 tenths off our fastest lap. And interesting, can we get this last lap in the 47s as well? We shall find out. So out the last corner, over the line we come, and it's oh, we just creep into it. So that is actually our slowest lap on the last lap, but still we keep every lap within 0.8 of a second there, so not too bad. That finishing time there for the non-stop, 18:02.0. So as I said, the settings very much look like this one was a non-stop, but out of due diligence we decided to do a second run straight after and do a one-stop. Now if the one-stop was going to work, well, we're giving it the best opportunity here. We're nicely warmed up from the non-stop run, so you can see the lap times there. We've actually got about a second a lap faster on the first lap, and we've got about half a second a lap faster in the laps after that. So as we come to the end of lap 5 where we're going to make our pit stop, we're probably about 3 seconds up on our first run, which was the non-stop. So as I said, if the one-stop could possibly work, then we are giving it a good chance of doing it here. So again, we're halfway through the race. You can see the tyres, barely any red shown on the tyres whatsoever. We're not doing any fuel, any tyre saving whatsoever either. But we are trying to keep it smooth because Autopolis is a track where I think it's very easy to overdrive the car and start running wide in corners, and because a lot of corners run into each other. If you mess one corner up, you can quite often mess the next 2-3 corners up after it. So there we are, we come into out the pit stop, and that in lap is 12 seconds slower than a normal lap. So it's not looking good for the one-stopper whatsoever. Lap 6 there is the out lap, that's about a second a lap faster than what you would normally do, so the cost of a pit stop coming in at about 11 seconds. And you know straight away there is just no way with the low tyre wear that you're going to make up 11 seconds in 5 laps. In this case we have to make up 8 seconds because we were about 3 seconds ahead of the non-stop run. But we're only lapping about a second a lap faster over this second stint. The non-stop was doing high 47s and creeping into the 48s, whereas here we're doing sort of high 46s. Probably not the absolute best run we could have done here on the second stint on this one-stop run. Probably a few tenths each lap being left on the table. But you're never going to do the perfect run anyway over 10 laps. There's always going to be a few mistakes made, albeit minor, and you are going to leave some time on the table no matter what you do. But we come into the last right left on lap 10, and we'll come across the start finish line and we get a little bit of an indicator. We do our fastest lap there, but again it's only 1.3 seconds faster than lap 10 on the non-stop. So the finishing time there, 18:05.8, so we're 3.8 seconds slower than the non-stop run. And as I said, I don't think that's probably quite representative. I think the gap probably more about the 7-8 second region. As I said, we were certainly more in tune with the car and track for the one-stop run. So this one, it's not going to be to everybody's taste. Well, it might be, because a lot of people it's pretty much just a flat out run for 10 laps, and a lot of people will quite like that. But I don't think it's the most interesting race in the world. But I guess the last couple of laps could get quite interesting as that tyre wear just starts to kick in, and we'll find out who's done a good job on their tyres. There could certainly be some drama and accidents and incidents come those last couple of laps. So yeah, as I said, maybe not the most interesting combination for a lot of people, but we will give Polyphony Digital some kudos because it is an original Daily Race C. Group 3 cars have not been run at Autopolis with tyre and fuel settings. And I do believe that all 3 races this week are new combinations, as were all 3 races last week. So that's 2 weeks in a row of completely new car track combinations. So we can certainly give Polyphony Digital some credit for that. And it does appear, it's obviously a big complaint from quite a lot of people, the repetition of the daily races. So it does appear that they gives us hope that they are listening to what the community is saying. I certainly hope that's the case, although I do hope that next week's race is something a little bit more interesting with a few more strategic options. So thank you very much for watching this one, if you've made it to the end. Again, thanks for watching, and I shall see you on the next video. Thanks now, goodbye.